field.
Let's go! Let's go!
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at the Bears' 48-yard line.
The hot! 180!
59. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down.
That's what I'm talking about.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
59. Let's put them on the
Wide.
Let's put that team on
Smooth!
Mike's 50.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Cousins. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
That's right.
Can't.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And he's able to find Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings! Stephon Diggs, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Blue.
They'll run to the 3rd-year man. This is Tariq Cohen. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 11.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, I'm coming after you.
Here's Trubisky. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. After that sack we just saw, Trubisky and the Bears deal with a 3rd and long.
He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up.
Red, up.
Show it, A. We got it.
They snap it at 1. Now it's Trubisky. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
This is fielded at the 27. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They start the drive with Cook. Big Eddie Goldman there on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 44, Cousins going for the deep ball. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Tried to go back again to Adam Thielen. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. Cook following the penalty. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
You don't know no better.
On 2nd and 15 now. Cousins. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Touchdown, baby. Hey.
Kyle Rudolph. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And it's now 14-0.
14. Bears, nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
on this defense, no game.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Finding Gabriel complete. A pickup of 24, and that's where the play began, the 24-yard line.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Get that quarterback.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
It's now 3rd and 9.
Sit up. 180. Alert, 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 alert. Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Blue, blue.
Hey, watch edge, watch edge.
Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist. Twist, twist.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. Open man, Taylor Gabriel. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. This one into the hands of Burton. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Sit up. 180. Mike 27. All day, baby, all day.
He's to the 10, and he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
They'll run with Montgomery, and he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that a little more advantageous.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Tariq Cohen, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the 1st half.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is fielded at the goal line.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the 1st half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
That's right.
Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20.
Good job.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
54. I got him. Alert. Hey, check 24. Check 24. Check that out.
Trubisky gives to Cohen. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Trubisky. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense, because they ran onto the field. That's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just in an interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are.
And that is intercepted by the all-pro safety, Eddie Jackson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he hadn't made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Mike 54. Mike 54. Blue dance.
Now Trubisky to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down.
Boom!
Everson Griffin
Sack, baby.
able to get him for a loss of about 3. In a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic, this is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
Here's Trubisky to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Everson Griffin able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. On the NFL scoreboard, an update from Los Angeles. And the Bucs are out to an early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
That's it, baby. That's it.
Gains for Bateman on the tackle. It's a pickup of 3.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Yeah, baby.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join, who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
All right, we get Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
But one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Mike 54. Mike 54.
They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
Get him. Get him.
Blue, blue, blue. Hey, wahoo!
Mike 27, Mike 27, Mike 27. I'm here all day.
Trubisky will throw. Space to maneuver at the 40. And this is Gabriel on the catch. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
Let's go, D. Tighten up. Hey.
First down, a run with Cohen. And an alley to run. Look at this. Middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Chicago. Tariq Cohen with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half, as his guys are back within a single score. Point after, right down the middle. And this is back to a 5-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And terrific field position here as they finally get him just shy of the midfield stripe.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And now look at him go. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Under a minute to play here in the half. Time for a late drive.
It makes sense when you think about it. Hey, try and get a field goal. Give yourself a lead going into the half. But if you're going to do this, you better have supreme trust in your quarterback. Supreme trust in the guy's going to handle the football. Because if you turn it over here, not only do you go in down at the half, you've given the momentum squarely to your opponent.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to air one out. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. That'll go down as an 84-yard punt return. And the Bears are able to show off their quick strike ability.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach. It's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
The point after is good, and the lead is up to 8. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the goal line. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
He goes to use you. He comes to me, it's me.
Red, top.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. Give him 9 on the play, and just like that, it's third down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
55. Good. Watch the twist, watch the twist.
3rd and 2. Now Trubisky. And that will be incomplete.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. And this will be taken at the 13. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. On 2nd down, it's Cook. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like, you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Here's Britton Colquitt now. Remember, his first attempt was returned for a touchdown. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you can tend to play the field position. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. 20. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Tariq Cohen, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year, as the Bears push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And the offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing is Cousins. Completes it to the fullback, Ham. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
I think the good offensive coordinators in the league now are looking at the fullback position and finding the right guys to hide in that spot and increase their passing game, as we just saw there. How about the run after catch? Racked him.
Well, yeah, whether it's a true fullback, a tight end you put in the fullback spot, you know they're going to be tough to bring down if you can get him the football in the passing game. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Here we go, here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins, and that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Mike's 59. You're trash, you're trash.
On play action, Cousins. Looking deep downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Prince Amukamara. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Johnson, the intended target. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirt.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
40's the mark.
Spud.
I got you, son. I got you, son.
Mike 40, Mike 40. It's coming.
Alert. Here we go.
After the interception, here's Trubisky. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
18. Push him back. Man, talk.
Mike 27.
Watch the curl.
Hey, orbit.
Hey, check.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet.
This is Cohen. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Mike up! 180! Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
Now it's Trubisky. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he's taken down inside the 30. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
Flushed out right, and he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
Watch his flat. Watch his flat.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Hey, ball.
Trubisky to throw again. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. It's headed right. It's no good. He misses wide of the upright. And this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That'll be complete to Cook. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back now at Soldier Field. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just one fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Now Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Cousins to throw for it on 4th. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Bears will get the football back. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Red, tough.
You can't block me.
Under 10, under 10, 10. Blue.
From the shotgun is Trubisky. He completes this into the hands of Miller. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 9.
Watch 55.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
55 is mine, guys. 55. Don't let him. Lock in. Don't let him.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. Hard throw, incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch.
And that is intercepted by the all-pro safety, Eddie Jackson. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.
Trick pass.
At the Vikings' 32-yard line.
On 2nd and 11 now. Trubisky. That one brought in by his tight end, Adam Shaheen. 23 yards, the final tally.
Go, let's go.
Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Team 6.
Hey, 40's Mike. 40's Mike right there. 40's Mike. Let's get the ball.
Watch that.
Throwing here, Trubisky. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Here's Trubisky. Open man, Taylor Gabriel. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They'll still have a 3rd and goal now, despite picking up 13 yards on that pass play.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon. But with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Check, 55 to Mike.
Go.
On 3rd and goal, Trubisky. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. two-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a two-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a throw here to his running back. And he's able to get up here to the 26. A gain of 4 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Listen to me.
Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And the ball is knocked out. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Cousins now. He's going to let it fly. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Cousins, now in desperation. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes...
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Tariq Cohen taking it in as the Bears push further out in front. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. Yeah, can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to, because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10 at the 9-yard line.
We're going to work.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 9-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Chicago, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. They will hit the road next week for a date with the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they'll drop down to